Hello and welcome to the overview of the Intel modular server built on Intel multiplex technology. Today we'll be going over the modular server system, including system features, an architecture overview, which includes power and cooling, shared storage, the Ethernet switch module, and the management module. We will also be going over the server compute module and the modular server control. First, let's take a look at product positioning. The modular server was designed for the small to medium business market with a strong focus on the three SMB values: simplicity, flexibility, and exceptional value. The Intel modular server is a simple, integrated system with point-and-click management. With diskless servers and integrated shared storage, the Intel modular server also provides flexible, grow-as-you-go options. The modular server also provides exceptional value through redundant, high-end capabilities made accessible to small to medium businesses. In other words, the Intel modular server is one system that integrates storage, computing, and networking to simplify the demands of your business. Now let's look at the features of the platform. The chassis is available in either a 6U rack mount or a pedestal form. The chassis contains up to 6 server compute modules, a shared disk storage subsystem with up to 14 2.5-inch SAS drives, up to 2 Ethernet switch modules, up to 2 storage control modules, an N+1 redundant hot swap power subsystem, and a GUI-based remote management and configuration program. Here we're looking at the front panel of the chassis. We have the compute modules, the shared storage bay, and the I/O fan module. Here's the rear panel of the chassis, with options for 1 or 2 storage control modules, 1 to 2 Ethernet switch modules, the power supply bays, and the redundant fan modules. There are 3 subsystems within the Intel modular server. With the power subsystem, you have the options for up to 4 power supply modules, N+1 redundancy. Each supply module is a 1000 watt hot swap module with auto switching 1 to 127 VAC or 2 to 240 VAC. The power subsystem also load balances across all power supplies. The power supply bays must be populated with a power supply or a blank. With power subsystem loading, you have the options for up to 3 configurations. With 1 power supply, you can support 3 fan module filler panels, 1 server compute module, 1 chassis management module, 2 Ethernet switch modules, 2 storage control modules, 14 2.5-inch SAS drives, 2 main fan modules, and 1 I/O fan module. With 2 power supplies, you can support up to 3 server compute modules, 2 power supply fan module filler panels, and the rest of the different components. With 3 power supplies, you can support up to 6 server compute modules, 1 power supply fan module filler panel, and the other components. Within the cooling subsystem, there are 3 discrete cooling zones. Zone 1 is the server compute modules, Zone 2 is the I/O modules, and Zone 3 covers the power supplies and the storage drive bay. Air flows through each of the zones from the front of the chassis to the rear. Fan speed for the cooling system is monitored and controlled by the chassis management module. Next is the storage subsystem. The storage subsystem can contain up to 14 2.5-inch SAS drives. In the rear of the chassis, you have the options for up to 2 redundant storage control modules, featuring these levels of RAID. There is also the global and/or dedicated hot spares option, and the optional battery backup unit. As mentioned earlier, you have the options for up to 2 Ethernet switch modules. Each module features 10 external 10, 100, or 1000 gigabit full duplex ports, 12 internal 1 gigabit full duplex ports, non-blocking wire speed performance, Layer 2 Plus features including ACL, QoS, link aggregation, up to 10K jumbo frame support, VLAN support, and support for spanning tree and rapid spanning tree. There is also an embedded web-based management interface. The chassis management module connects to all chassis subsystems through the midplane. It monitors and manages server compute modules and all other components of the chassis. The management module also enables remote control and configuration of the system. The server compute module is the MFS 5000 SI. The compute module was designed around the Intel 5000P series chipset and supports up to 2 multi-core Intel Xeon processors. It also supports up to 32 gigabits of RAM using 512 to 4 gig ECC FB DIMMs populated in pairs, has an integrated LSI 1064E SAS controller, contains integrated remote KVM, remote media, remote console, and support for a single optional expansion card on a proprietary connector. Here's the board itself, with the expansion connector, USB 1 and 2, video, CPU 1 and 2, and DIMM, channels A through D. Here's the front panel of the server compute module, with power control buttons, LEDs for power, compute module fault, and compute module ID, video connector, and 2 USB ports. There are a few minimum requirements to setting up the Intel modular server. For remote client, the minimum requirement is Microsoft Internet Explorer 6 or Mozilla Firefox 2, Java Runtime Environment version 6 update 1, Adobe Flash Player version 9. To configure the system, you must configure the storage subsystem with at least one virtual drive assigned to each server compute module. Now let's take a look at the Intel Modular Server control features. The Intel Modular Server Control is a browser-based user interface with system configuration, monitoring and management, remote control, and remote disk. Here's the login screen for the Intel Modular Server Control. For an in-depth look at the server control, please see the Intel Modular Server Control interface video. The default IP address is 192.168.150.150. Default user is admin and default password is admin. Once you are logged into the system, navigation is simple. There are tabs to the upper right of the screen and a navigation bar to the left of the screen. There is also a device information mouseover feature and a direct device selection. Under the Systems menu, there are selections for servers, storage, and switches. If you choose the server option, it will go to the server page. Once there, you can see the server action options to the right of the screen. These options allow you to remote manage your servers, including power, graceful shutdown, reset, remote serial console, remote KVM and CD, including remote KVM control and mount a local CD-ROM remotely, and identify. If you choose Remote KVM from the server action options, it will open a video redirection menu. This menu allows you to select video redirection or remote CD control. Under the storage menu, you can create and manage your virtual drives and storage pools. When you first log onto your system, you will need to set up a virtual drive and assign it to a server. To do this, you first create a storage pool, then create a virtual drive, including defining a RAID level and assigning it to a server. Additional options under the storage menu include creating a hot spare, resizing a storage pool, resizing a virtual drive, and reassigning a virtual drive. Under the switches selection, the possible actions include edit ports, which include all of the basic options for managing the Ethernet switch module, and Advanced UI, which launches the Advanced Switch Configuration utility. Under the Reports section, we have menu options for Storage Overview, Events, the Dashboard, and Diagnostics. Under the Settings menu, you can configure the Chassis Management module, including IP, Notification, SNMP, Users, Date and Time, and Event Policies. You can also view firmware under Settings, including the current system firmware version and a unified firmware update for the complete system. In summary, the Intel Modular Server is a flexible, modular platform server solution designed for the small to medium business. The Intel Modular Server is powerful and contains easy-to-use configuration and 100% remote management capabilities.